few minutes to come in before I start yakking away. Hello, hello, hello. I think I'm 2 minutes early. I turn on the heater and it's warm. Then I turn off the heater and it gets cold. Hi, sorry, or is it Sari? Shirley, hello. Hi, Rick Flood. Thank you, bonjour. Thank you for being my moderator tonight, Rick. Bonjour, Limery. Bonjour, Elizabeth. I'm going to wait till a few more people come in. Hi, Babs. Hey, Ann. Oh, yeah, it's rainy. It's cold. Blah. Hi, Michelle from Atlanta. I'll be there soon. Michelle, are you going to get to come and have coffee with us on October the 10th? Bonsoir from Denmark. Bonsoir. 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 That's how you say it. Bonsoir. Hi, Europats. I love you guys. 98 degrees in Texas. Okay, I'll take the rain and I'll take it here. I'll take the rain here. I'm going to have it at, you know what? If you will email me or watch the posts that I put up, I'm going to put up the closer we get. I have the place and everything. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Ann. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Sylvia. Hey, Lynn Marie. Oh, okay. Yeah. October the 10th. Hey, Laura. From Canada. Yeah. October the 10th. It's going to be in the Buckhead area at 11. I have a dermatology appointment that morning at 10. So it's incoming. So we'll be there probably by 11:15. Thank you so much, Carmen. I appreciate you being here. Okay, Tamara, you guys be careful. I heard that Gabrielle, the little hurricane, may be coming your way. So keep in touch and let me know how you're doing. I leave for Scotland on Monday. For the 1st of November, the 15th of November, I'll be here. Just let me know and let's have some coffee. Hey, Carmen from Florida. Jean-Marc, oh, I'm so glad you're on here. I heard Jean-Marc had an accident in his car and he had just been getting over being sick. Jean-Marc, we're thinking of you. Yes, I did. I went to bed last night at 8 o'clock. I got up during the night at 2, of course. And then I slept till 7:30. Yeah. Bonjour, Janice from 87 degrees Central California. Oh my gosh. But it's Central California though. Okay, I'm going to start. And I will tell you, you may not like what I have to say. And you may be saying, hey, Paula. Okay, thank you, darling. Hey, Laura. Okay, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop talking to you guys, but I'm going to tell you, thank you for being here. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll be in Scotland on Monday. Yes. I come back from Scotland on the 2nd. I have the 3rd. I come back to Scotland on the 2nd at 10:25. I get home around 10:25, and then I have that next day on the 3rd, and then the 4th. I have to be up and out of here at 5:30 a.m. I'm so glad you're on here, Jean-Marc. I'm so sorry you've been so sick and then now having an accident. I hope you get well, Garnett. Okay, Garnett. Okay, so I'm going to start. And like I said before, some of you may want to unsubscribe from me. And if you want to, that's fine. Because I'm probably not going to be your favorite friend tonight for what I'm getting ready to tell you. I have had several comments the last few days about I can't be trusted. What I told you's all been a lie. And I should go back home and live with my daughter and stop trying to do something over here. I have been told such ugly things that if you want to unsubscribe to me, do so. If you think I'm not authentic, and if you think I'm lying to you, and if you think I'm not trustworthy, then you unsubscribe. I don't care if I go down to 25,000. I don't do this for the money, trust me. I started out doing this so that I could instill in other people a hope that you can do things that you didn't think you could do. That maybe you want to do something different. I didn't ask anyone to move to France. That was my dream. But I said, hey, we only have this life. Let's live it as we can. And that's the reason I started YouTube. I didn't start the YouTube to impress you with what I know and what I don't know. And if you have been a follower of mine for quite some time, you can go back and look in those videos and I will say, don't go by what I say. Go by Ann Scott. um, um, uh, she has a YouTube channel, and I'm trying to think of it now. Something of our golden years, postcards from our golden years. That's it. She's done all the research. She's done everything right. She knows what she's talking about, and I probably should have listened to her. So I'm going to tell you a short synopsis of what happened. I got here in 2022, if you remember correctly. And if you're new, you may not know this. I was only given a year visa. So in 2022, I didn't have to do anything except check in, validate my passport after 90 days or within the 90-day period. And that was it, because I only had a year to be here. I wasn't planning on, I didn't have to do anything. So when my year was up in October, I went back to the United States. I did everything I was supposed to. 3 months of the bank account. I showed my 2 pension and my Social Security amount. I showed, I wrote the attestation. I wrote why I wanted to be here. I gave them an account of where I was going to live and where I had been living for the year, that I was going to continue. I had a letter from my landlord, and I had all of this stuff, and I was very, very fortunate to have the same woman that I had the first time. And she said, so you're going to want to retire there? And I said, yes. She handed me a piece of paper and she said, sign here. And I said, okay. Well, within the next 10 to 12 days, I received my passport saying that I could come here. I got back in October. My 90 days started around October 30th. So we're going to go October 30th to November, December, January 30th. In that 90-day period, I did validate my passport, because you have 90 days. And then you have 90 days before your visa expires to go through this process that they want you to do. Well, this is what happened. I was given a date to go get my chest x-ray, which they don't do anymore, by the way. And I didn't go because I had planned a trip to the States. And I went on that trip to California. When I got back, and while I was in California, I thought I was extremely smart. I go through all my 5,000 emails on my email, and I get rid of everything. And unfortunately, I got rid of the number, my confirmation number that I had when I validated my passport, so that I could get my x-ray and my health check. Couldn't get to it, couldn't find it, Called and called and called, couldn't get through, emailed and emailed and emailed. They wouldn't give it to me. I hired an attorney. I paid an attorney 1,000 euros to get me through, and I got those 2 appointments. I got my x-ray and I got my health insurance. Sorry. I got my health uh, appointment. Okay. After that, I would go on the internet and all I would get is around and around and around and around. I couldn't get through. I could not get through. You can't walk in there. You can't, number one, I have a prefecture here, and I went here to the one in Fontainebleau, and they said, and I had a lady with me that spoke English. They said, no, we don't do anything. You have to go to Milan. You have to go to Milan. So I went to Milan, and, well, no, I didn't go to Milan. I knew that I couldn't work with this lady here. So the attorney did get me an appointment at Milan because I finally got my number and all of that kind of stuff. So I went to Milan and I took in all my information and got my my health little, they just go over your blood pressure and ask you your questions and all that kind of thing. I did that. Then still can't get through on the internet to fill out all this form and answer all their questions. Finally, a friend of mine in August of the next year got through, and she called me, and I happened to be in London with my daughter, and she said, Janice, I got through. I said, okay, let's start doing it. So we started sending in the paperwork. Now, I'm already way past due, but I'm at least getting in. So sent in the paperwork, got everything taken care of. Then I was sent a letter saying that I should go to Milan to the other prefecture office because it's huge. You can't go in with anyone else. When you walk up there, they have your name. They show that I have my letter, of course, but they have your name down there that you have an appointment. I went in, I had my fingerprints taken, and she told me that in 6 to 8 weeks, they would text me and email me, and I would come back and get my carte de séjour, which is your green card. I said, okay, thank you. Well, 6, 8 weeks came, nothing. 9, 10, it was during the holidays, nothing. So, February or March, I started sending them emails asking them what happened. They said, we've sent you a piece of paper. I said, I've not seen the piece of paper. So I got an attorney. And I got an attorney about the end of February, 1st of March. We started working on it. Not one time did this attorney say, you're going to have to go back to the States. Not one time. I give this attorney everything. I go to Paris every time I have to meet with him. And I give this attorney all this paperwork. The 3 months. This has to be, I don't know what it was. One of them had to be translated. But it was just about everything that I gave the people in Atlanta. And I signed a sheet of paper saying that I lived only with myself. I didn't live with other people. No one else supported me and blah, 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 blah. And showed him my lease and everything. And this went on for a couple of months. And then in June, or the latter part of June, maybe the first part of July, I'm not sure about the dates, he falls and hurts his arm, and he can't work very well with me, and he can't work very well with email, and he's the only man in the office. He works for himself. He's a one guy. And he says, I'm going to be on vacation all of July. I thought, oh my God, I can't wait a whole month. I'm illegal. I've already paid for a trip to Scotland. I'm making plans to go see my daughter in November in London. And then I'm going to go see my daughter in March. I've got to do something. So I talked to a friend of mine who knew a friend that worked for David Simmons, your friend in Paris. They have all kinds of people that work. He's not a one-man band. In fact, I never heard back from my attorney until David had already made me my appointment in Atlanta. So when I contacted David, within 1 week, David had emailed the French consulate saying she would like to really get her visa here. She would like to do it. She doesn't want to go back to the States right now. It's costly. I'm going to Scotland. I've already paid $3,000 for that trip. All this money I'm putting out, which, I have good money, but, all of it at one time. So anyway, they came back and they said, well, she can get her visa here if she has her Social Security number. Well, the only way you can have a Social Security number is if you have a carte vitale. That is your health insurance. I can't get a carte vitale until I get a carte de séjour. So he came to me, Zoomed called me, and he said, Janice, you're going to have to go home. That's all there is to it. So I knew within 7 days that I couldn't get it here and I have to go home. If I had used David 4 months before this, I would have already had this halfway taken care of. Now I have an appointment on October the 6th. And sorry, somebody Facebooked me. Now I have an appointment on October the 6th. I arrive on October the 4th. And I have a letter saying that what's been going on. I also have a letter in French that when I come back from Scotland, that it states that I will be going to the States on October 4th, what's been going on, this is how we're going to handle it. And then he's also written a letter for me to take to the TLS in Atlanta to tell them what we've been doing, what I've been doing, what the other 2 attorneys have been doing. So I will say, yes, some of this is my fault. Really, it is. Some of it isn't. When you can't get through on a computer and you go round and around and around and you can't get in because they're just not as inept. Well, no, they are inept when it comes to technology. It's just the way it is, and there's so many people trying to get through. Or maybe it's my Wi-Fi, I don't know. But anyway, the other person had tried and tried and tried, and finally she got through like at 3 a.m. in the morning. That's how we got through. And then we started the paperwork, and as soon as I got back from London, I went to her place and we continued in. So this is why I'm saying, yes, I did do some things wrong. I should have never gone to California. But this is what I got upset with yesterday and wanted to come online with. Do not go by other people, because I had already heard, somebody had told me that I could get my carte vitale before I got my carte de séjour. I could get my medical stuff. That's not true. That is not true. And also I have been told that you can't, after you get here and you get your passport validated, your visa validated and all that, you can't go back and you can't go out of the country many times. And that's not true. I talked to David yesterday. He said it absolutely is not true. Now, you can't go to the States for 6 months and then come back here for 6 months. They're probably going to wonder why you have a resident if you're not going to be here but half the time. But he said, no, you can come and go as much as you want. But I'd heard rumors of that. So don't listen to rumors. And sometimes I will tell you this. It is not all black and white, because what people do what Anne's had to do in Venice, what Anne has had to do in Nice, I don't know where I got Venice from, what Anne had to do in Nice, and what my friend Patricia had to do in Paris, absolutely different than what I had to do. Absolutely different. So just because it says you have to do this, and then you find out you have to do a little more or you don't have to do as much, make sure you find that out from an email from the French government, not reading it online. Because I may be in Paris, you may be in another city, everybody does things a little different. Now, they have to go through the formality, but it's not a one-stop shop, and I have said this over and over and over again. So I just wanted to say, and then I was listening to someone say the other day that they didn't get their visa because they didn't qualify enough money. I don't know how that happened. I know that's not going to be my issue. I make enough money. If you make $28,000 to $3,000, you got it covered. You know, I wouldn't worry about the money. In fact, it's probably a little less than that. But I'm just talking about if you want to live here and be able to go places and do stuff. And of course, the rent's cheaper. So, I mean, you figure it out. You'll know if you can or cannot. And then he said he took his birth certificate. And I thought, oh my God, do I need to take my birth certificate? I mean, I'm panicking and I'm thinking, okay, I've got my birth certificate. Do I need to take it with me and all that? And then he said, because I finally asked, and finally he said, oh, no, they didn't tell me to take my birth certificate. Well, then why did you take it? See, these things are confusing for people when they just listen to someone. You cannot listen to someone and think that that's the way it's going to be for you. TLS has a packet that comes to you and it tells you exactly what to bring. Exactly what to bring. You take exactly what they say to bring. Nothing more, nothing less. He said he paid an extreme amount of money for insurance. I paid only $425 for insurance. So I don't know. But when I hear things like this, it just absolutely blows my mind because you have to really take it. And I guess I was so stressed out the other day because it was before I talked to David and we got all the paperwork and everything for me to print out. I just thought, oh my God, I'm just not going to, what's going to happen? What's plan B? And plan B is, he said, I can always return for 90 days. So, I mean, at least I can do that if they don't, And like he said, I can't say exactly they're not going to say no because I don't know for sure anything, But he said, I cannot see. He said, I've done this thousands of times. I cannot see where they would say no to you. And I said, okay, well, that's, nice to hear. But, until you get that in your hand, you don't know what's going to be said and what's going to be done. But I am telling you, postcards from our golden years, Ann Scott, she's done tremendous research. Now, you have to remember, she moved here, I think, a year or 2 years. I'm not sure. Time goes by so fast when you're old. But anyway, it's nice to hear what other people went through. But please listen to it with a grain of salt. And that's what I should have done the other night when I listened to this gentleman. And I certainly didn't get mad at the people that had this gentleman on their live, but I did get ticked off at him because I think he should have been a little bit more forthcoming, because anyone else that was going through this would have said, oh my gosh, maybe we don't make enough money, because he didn't really say what they said. Did they say he didn't make enough money? Did he say they needed to take more money? And then he also made this comment. He said, what they really want to know is how much money you have. Let me tell you, people, I will tell you very honestly, they don't care how much is in your IRA. They don't care how much is in your savings. They don't care if you've got bank accounts all through the world. What they want to know is how much do you make each month? How much Social Security? What is your pension? What do you make steadily each month? Because you could have $500,000 sitting in a savings account and spend $450,000 on a house. Now, how are you going to pay your bills? That's all they want to know. That's why they want the 3-month checking account. And this man also said he only took the first sheet. If they tell me to bring my 3-month statement, I'm bringing every page of that bank statement. Don't take it into your hand and say, oh, well, they probably only want the first. No. If they say they want 3 bank statements, do 3 bank statements. So I got a little upset with him because I thought, I hope no one's listening to him for the very first time, because they're going to be stressed out. I was stressed out and I knew a little bit more than he did, which is not saying a lot. So what I'm saying is, make sure when you listen to someone on YouTube, when you do pay attention to someone and you have a question, email them. Find out the answer. But if I were you and I were moving to France, I would use someone that knows what they're doing. And I am so thankful for this company. I don't get anything cheap for talking about them. I don't get any cuts. I don't get anything. I don't get a percentage off or anything like this. But I'm telling you, if it had not been for David with your friend in Paris, you know, they do the apartments, they do everything for you. I don't know. I just know that once I get back, David's going to take care of my everything. Everything. David will take care of it. Because obviously I can't do it. I'm screwed up. And it's just amazing when an attorney or someone emails them, they get right back to them. I could email them and not get back to them. They may not get back to me for 3 months or 3 weeks. They always send you back a letter saying that they got your information and they'll get back to you. But they don't necessarily do it. So I'm just telling you, if I were you, and if I had it to do again, I would get a professional that could walk me through it. Okay, that rant is over. So I'm going to kind of read some notes here that people have been sending me. But I'm telling you, if you don't trust me, and if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, and you think I'm lying to you, then unsubscribe and move on down the road. Okay. Sounds like you're on right track now. I think so. Thank you. Is David available for open questions from those interested in the process? I will be having David on. A video when I come back from the States. Because number one, I'm going to Scotland. I've already got my October 5th video coming. I've already done that. I'm going to be back to videos, but I would love to have him on when I come back. And yes, he said he would do that so he could answer some questions. Because I'm telling you what, the 90-day thing and the 90-day thing, I still was confused on that. And finally he said, Janice, it's like this. And he's so easy to talk to. He's so positive, and he's delightful. So let's see. Yes, why don't you have David on as a guest? I'm going to have him on. Bonsoir. How long will you be gone? I'm going to be in Scotland for only 2.5 days. Then I come back, and then I'm going to be in the States for 30 days. I really didn't want to be in the States for 30 days, but Columbus Day is in there, and that is a postage and bank holiday, I believe, and I may have to wait a little bit more for my visa to be returned. So I stayed a little extra days, and so Jennifer just said, Mom, if you're going to be here for 2.5 weeks, you might as well be here till the end of October. So I said, okay, I'll be there till the end of October. And that is the longest I've ever been around her, but I'm thankful that she works, because if we were together 24/7, we'd probably kill each other. Will you film from the States? Absolutely. You're going to go everywhere I go. What will you do with your pets? I have a lovely lady that is one of my followers. She's coming from Ireland on the 26th. I got to get this house cleaned up. On the 26th, and she's going to be, I'm going to answer you just a minute, Europats. She's going to be coming back. She's going to be coming on the 26th, and she's going to stay here so she can get to know Max before I leave on the 29th. So she gets to know the haunts and the places to go take him and walk him if it stops raining. But anyway, she's going to be here, and I can't wait to meet her. And I hope she doesn't think I'm too weird. I hope she doesn't have a YouTube channel and talk about me, because she's probably going to go, that's the weirdest lady I've ever been around in my life. I want to go back to the Europats. We got a little confused about the money situation when he said that, and did panic a bit until we went over other finance. Yes. I know. He scared the heck out of me. Well, he didn't scare me on the finances. I knew I had the finances for one person. But for a couple, I can understand you've got to make, a certain amount for each person. But when he said, oh, I just took the birth certificate, well, do we have to? Because maybe, what my concern was, it's not the VFS that like it used to be. It's the TLS. And I thought, well, maybe they've changed the rules. No, they haven't changed the rules. But it just scared the heck out of me. Good afternoon, Janice. Thank you for clarifying the income requirement. It is always good to hear from you. I am looking forward to your YouTube. Thank you so much, honey. Thank you. Is there early voting? Or voting for what, darling? 30 days without Max, is that safe to someone you just met? Yes. She's going to be here like 3 or 4 days, but there's no one, I could not find anyone here that would take Max for 30 days straight. They just don't do that. I usually use rover.com because we don't have like, now remember, I live in a small town in Fontainebleau, so we don't have kennels that are pets, or veterinarians that have kennels and stuff like that. But I want somebody to be here with him. And at the time that she said she was coming, I had Kitty also, but now I don't have Kitty. Once you get this all settled, I will come and visit. Of course you will. I'm going to see you in May, I hope. Income as to my region is 1753 euros per month for an individual. Okay. I would say 1753 per month for an individual is really low because I pay 1335 for an apartment, and my apartment rent is pretty low, I think. But I would say on a good side, 2,800 per person. That's just me. That is not the government saying that. That's just me. Now, Jean-Marc just said in his area. Now, it may be different for Nice, and it may be different for Paris, and it may be different for Fontainebleau. I don't know. But you need to kind of just use a little common sense, because what is rent going to cost you? What is food going to cost you? The company that handles French visa application in the United States, TLS, right, manages the logistics of the application. That's right. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Cynthia, wow, that's awesome. Jean-Marc Bordeaux, where are you? I think she'll be fine. She's set for other people. I did get a letter of reference from her, and she's going to be here the 26th. I'll see, and if I see that there's something not going right, I won't go to Scotland. It's just the way it will be, and I'll have to find someone else. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but my Max comes first. Yes, I will do that. I don't know what you're talking about, early voting. I don't know what you're talking about. Max can't go because if Max goes, where I'm staying, they don't like dogs. So I can't take a dog. I could stay with someone else and take the dog, but then I have to go through everything again like I did with Buster, pay the $250, have him rabies shot again, and him going through not being with me on the plane. Oh my God. Or him being on the plane and having to be in a crate. Oh, good Lord. No, I can't do that to him or me. Once you get this, yes. Okay. See, and that's what Jean-Marc just said. In my region, it's this. It could be different in different regions. Rick, the company that handles French. Okay, yeah. Wow, that's awesome, Jean-Marc. My region is Nouvelle-Aquitaine. I have a few years to prepare for all of this information. And that's another thing, Beatrice. It will change. Remember when I started looking in 2022, I remember I went to YouTube and I saw this lady's YouTube video. Now, you got to understand, I haven't been on YouTube all that much before all this started. And I saw her video and I said, oh my gosh, that's great. It was from 2017. So make sure whatever video you're watching, you're watching one up to date. I am staying with Jen, and that situation, they don't allow dogs. I can't go into any more details, but they live with their in-laws at the moment. I guess that's what I should say. They live with their in-laws at the moment, and the in-laws don't allow dogs, so I can't take Max. Janice in Scotland, our new bonus channel. Janice on the horse. I love your honesty and have my fingers crossed that everything works out. Thank you so much, Laura. I do appreciate that, because when I started getting all this from people saying you've lied and all of this, it's like this, folks. If I have a blister on my butt, I'm not going to put it on YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just put on YouTube, by the way, folks, I'm living here illegal. I'm not going to do that. I mean, there are certain things you just don't put on YouTube. I put everything out there that I think you should know. And a blister on my butt is not one of them. And me living here illegally is not one of them either. Not while I'm trying to work with attorneys and this and that. I've been pretty honest with people about working with attorneys. I've been honest with everything. And I think that's what really bothered me. And of course, they said it at a day that I was pretty stressed out. So I thought, I've got to do this. I've got to. Max will be happier at home. He really will be. Janice, I love your videos. Thank you so much. You write better for Max. Yes, I agree. Don't trust Google anymore with a minimum income requirement. Seems to change a lot and is very low. I agree. You're a ray of light. Thank you so much, honey. I'm keeping up with UK travel and yeah, yep. I got to do that UK thing. I've got to go online and get that done. Many of us want out of the US. I understand. Dreaming of France. Trust the income requirements on the French visa page. TLS. I agree. I'm confident watching you will keep us all current. Thank you. Just wanted to ask, are we still doing the wellness in French? No, we're not. Hopefully we'll do the French Connection Sunday night, the 28th. Hopefully we'll do it then. But if we do, I'll put it on a post. My bank card was compromised. And Jennifer texted me today and said, Mom, your bank card came in, but she hasn't opened it up so I can get my new number so that I can give to Zoom so that they can take the money out of my bank account so I can have a Zoom account, because it just happened to come up that I needed to pay the Zoom account for this month and my bank wouldn't accept it because I changed my account. So I have to let them know my new credit information. And also, if you do the free Zoom, it's only 40 minutes and we always go over to at least to an hour. And then after that, Rick takes over and they talk, a lot more than that. So let's hope we have one. Oh, that's sweet, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. But I'm going to stay. Jennifer, they have a bedroom downstairs with an ensuite. So I have my privacy, so I'll be fine. Yeah, I understand that about your daughter, darling. Okay, all right. The UK thing is very easy. Just make sure you go to the government site. There's a company that charges way too. Yeah, I think it was 15 pounds. I hope I can someday relocate and live the life I always dreamed of. Now, I will tell you, folks, those of you that are listening, if you've not given me a thumbs up, would you please do so? I'd appreciate it. That helps out with my subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate that too, because there may be a number of those that unsubscribe after this tonight. But I will keep you up to date. Right now, I have all the paperwork, and I'm going to go over to Beverly's house Thursday. I'm going to go get my COVID shot and my flu shot. And it's going to cost me about €14 to get both of them. So then I'm going to go over to Beverly's, and she's got a printer so I can print all this off. And that's another thing. If I were you and I were coming to France or any other country, I'd make sure you have a printer. I don't know why I don't have one, but I'm going to get one. I hope you monetize your videos through YouTube, a little bit of extra income. Yes. Mary Grace will monetize what we do tonight, but if you'll do a thumbs up, that will help me tremendously, and subscribe, that would help me tremendously. What was I going to tell you? I was going to tell you something. Thank you from Geneva. Oh, thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. Printers are the worst. Never work properly, at least not for me. Well, I always had Jennifer at home with me. Now I don't. But I do have, I don't think you'll lose anyone, as you are honest. Thank you, darling. I do have a printing shop down the street from me, and it's like $1 a page, so it wouldn't be that bad. All you do is email them, and then when you get there, you just pick it up and pay them, and they're really good. But I'm going to go over and have a cup of coffee with Beverly. And then tomorrow, I'm going to have coffee with a lady named Linda Fogg. If any of you know her, she and her husband and someone else with them, we're going to have coffee about noon at Paul's. But I think, okay, good. The UK thing. Okay, let me see. I'm lost here. Thank you for the encouragement. Right now, I have to figure out some mobility issues. 2 bad knees. Then there's my kid, 21 years old. Yep, I know. I'm so glad my kid's married. That just takes a lot of guilt off of me, because he is so wonderful to her. Oh my gosh. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I'm going to be very honest with you. If you, uh, yes, oh, in Scotland, with the exception of Edinburgh, one bedroom starts as low as £400. Okay. All right, good. Yes, I know. You know, I've never been to the library here. Isn't that awful? I know we have one. But anyway, I know I can go down to, I've used this guy before. But I'm taking all my documents to Scotland with me, just in case. I told David the other day, just in case they say, you can't go back to your apartment. And I said, the only thing is I'll have nothing but riding breeches and horse stuff. So I can just see me in Atlanta showing up with one suitcase and no clothes. Um, Yep. Yeah, see, my husband's gone. In fact, the 29th, the day I leave, will be 13 years. Um, now, did you choose your location in France? Sorry, too much info. Americans can stay in. Uh, yeah, I think a wireless printer would be good, anything. But anyway, what I was going to say is this. I pay $13.35 for an apartment, and I live in Fontainebleau. And Fontainebleau is a little higher than everyone, I think. But mine is furnished, though. Now, I have a friend of mine that got an apartment that's not furnished, 2-bedroom, and I think she pays $1,200, but she also has to pay for her Wi-Fi, and she has to pay for her phone. You know, her Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi and electricity. I don't have to pay for that, luckily, that Wi-Fi and electricity. So you just have to kind of look around. But honestly, if I were you and you want to go scout out where you're going to be, I would get me a Airbnb if I had to the first month. And then I would scout around trying to find a place to live, because they're not like in the States. In the States, you call a realtor and they're going to say, okay, we'll go see that today. Or you just go to an apartment project. They don't have that here. We do have it more here because we have a college here, but our university, I guess. But they may wait 2 or 3 days before you can see the place. So it's not like it is in the States. You can wear my clothes, but I'm not as classy as you are, Elizabeth. I'm bringing so many clothes, but your weather's going to be so warm. I've just taken everything out of my suitcase today and restocked. That's a good plan. Max will be taken care of before Scotland trip. So yes, he'll be fine. I saw apartment Avon next to Fontainebleau yesterday. Okay, now you have to be careful. Avon has some good places and some not so good places. So that's why I'm saying you really need to be where you want to be. And you need to see it, you know. You will find a place to live, but you need to have an Airbnb first, unless you do like I did. I came ahead of time, found the apartment I wanted, but I didn't move to 3 more years, and I just happened to luck out that they had the apartment available. Because when I first saw this apartment, I didn't like it. But when I knew I was moving there and I couldn't find what I wanted, because it's really not fun to look for an apartment when you're in the States and the apartments here. You need to know that the elevator works a lot. You need to know the elevator works. You know, like me, I've had a meniscus removed in my knee. I can still walk it up and down the steps, of course, but I had little Buster, and Buster had to go to the bathroom quite often. I'd be doing that 5 or 6 times a day, and Buster got to where he couldn't walk up the steps. So I really did need an elevator. You'll find a place to live. That's a good idea, but what if you don't find a place to live and you're over there? Well, then you'll have to rent the Airbnb for the next month. We plan to rent until we find our forever home out there. Okay, Avon is practically a suburb of Fontainebleau. It is windy, but they also have some areas in it that I wouldn't live in. That's what I'm just telling you. There's some good parts of Avon and bad parts of Avon that I wouldn't live in. Now, that doesn't mean you wouldn't live in. That's just me. Because I live by myself and I need to be very secure. But Avon is a great place to live. I was going to live in Avon before I got this apartment in 2018 when I saw it. But you have to walk to the store and stuff like that, which is okay. I mean, it's no problem. But it's just not, I don't know. I love Fontainebleau. It's just, I guess because I just love it. I don't know. But Avant, I go to the grocery store there sometime. You know, it has a big grocery store there, but it's not a bad place to live. You just need to know the sections that are good, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Celager is a good place to look. It is. It's a good place to start looking, but not, I wouldn't rent from them until you got to the town. But if it were me doing it, and you have to be out all this money and all of that, I would wait. I would go to a town that I know that's where I want to live, and I would go see the immobilier. I think that's how you say it, immobilier. And I would find someone and say, okay, this is what I want, this is what I want. And you have to have all your documents and all that, and they'll tell you what you need, you know. I've seen small flats in Paris for 8 to 1,000 euros recently online. I was shocked. I'd be shocked because where they were located. I would be. I have meniscus issues. I should probably get surgery. I did it a year before I left. Haven't walked well since 2 years. Yeah, I would do it before you move. Very competitive to get a place in Paris. Not easy at all. That's right. But you need to be there. I just had some friends that moved from a little town about 15 minutes from me to Paris, and it took them about 3 months. And they were looking at apartments all the time because by the time they put their paperwork in, maybe somebody else had already said they wanted it. So it's very competitive. Got to live in a place with public transportation. That's why I like living here. Europat is better to rent first, but be careful of your contract. It is easy to drive in France. I have a friend of mine that just got her license. She drives all over. She loves it. Like in Bordeaux, some areas have a high immigrant population or student population. You have to find the right suburb. That's exactly right, Jean-Marc. Airbnb is definitely what you must do first and look to find. Okay, that's what I would do. Yeah, I would have the surgery first. Love you, Janice. Janice. We don't know if anything will change, but our location we are set on right now is Brittany, Normandy, and Occitane. Is that how you say it? France is just so beautiful anywhere you go. It is. It really is. This town turned out to be perfect for me. You know, I go down the street, I see Zach at the clothing place and his wife, and I wave to them, and I see the people over here that sell luggage and purses and stuff, and I always wave to them, and you know, it's just a small town, and I love it. That's what shocked me, the 9th or 12th, I forgot what they call those places. Well, a lot of places, we call them Section 8 in the States, but they call them something else, and that's where there's more crime, and that's where there's more, you know, like Beverly lives downtown next to Ibis Hotel. She said it is so noisy at night that she can barely sleep because of people partying and the bars and all that. It is so quiet back here. You can hear the crickets when you walk outside. I love small town vibes. I think I would like it where you are. There are 2 people that have moved here. One, she just had knee surgery. Her name is Jan. And then Beverly moved here because of me. But looking at Perpignan and Nice, I will need to sell my home first thought before getting. I would check out Perpignan, and this is another thing. Anywhere that you look at, you go to the website and you see the crime index, you see what's the median range of people's salaries, how many, are there burglaries more than, you know, shoplifting, or are there more shoplifting than burglaries? Check out the crime. Perpignan has a high crime there. I checked it out when Elder Gal went there. Yes, thank you, Sylvia. The Europass, that is such a good place to choose. Did Jan have knee surgery in France? She was supposed to this past week, and her our boyfriend is here taking care of her. So I think it was September oh goodness, I think it was the 12th. So I guess she should be doing well. We met just the other day at the store. I was coming out of the store and she goes, "You're Janice in France." And I said, "Yes, I am." And we hugged each other, and she was so sweet to me, and she was on crutches, but she's probably doing fine. She just had surgery down here. Oh, I love Normandy. I really do. I like Normandy. Yes, Perpignan has high crime rate. Nice is popular with American. Nice has lots of Americans. Fontainebleau is still on my list. Want a small town feel, access to TGV, and regularly inexpensive. Enjoys cooler weather close to the Alps. I love the weather here, but I like colder weather. Sounds like the priority has been taking trips over taking care of business. Well, no, I didn't take care of anything. No, my first year I did. Last year, I didn't go anywhere last year. I didn't go anywhere. I paid for this last year. I paid for the apartment to be painted and the wallpaper last year. Check out the neighborhood for sure. Brittany caught my eye. I love Provence too, but I've never been. You know that? I've never been. I wanted to go this year, but it got hot too quick. And you know me, I don't like the heat. Guys, I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much. And for those of you, let's just make sure you look at the post that I put on. Hopefully we can have French Connection Sunday night, because I'd love to get to talk to all of you and see you all before I leave the next morning at 6 a.m. And so those of you that are wanting to or thinking about, let's get together. October the 10th in Atlanta. Let me know approximately how many people can come so I can reserve a table. I would say at least 6. I would put at least 6 right now. Good night, everyone. Okay, join the French Connection. Email me. I still need an email with the French Connection link. Okay, email me, and I'll make sure that hopefully we can have it. And if we have it, I will send it out to you. Have fun writing. We see you Sunday. Hope so. Okay, I didn't get French Connection link. Email me again. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Is that how you say it? Bonsoir. Bonne nuit. I'm going to bed. Bonne nuit. Take care, Janice. Hopefully we'll get back to it. Thank you, guys. And I certainly, listen, Matt and you guys, I didn't mean to be upset with you, and I don't want you to think I was upset with you. I was just upset with him. I'm sorry. You're very welcome. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please, please, please. Janice, INFrance at gmail.com. Janice in France at gmail.com. Thank you, Jean-Marc. We love you too. And honey, I want you to get well. I'm tired of you being not feeling well. Bonne nuit. See you, everyone. And as always, I love you. Au revoir.